Hi, everybody. So I was getting ready to write, and I was going to do a scene where the writer or aspiring writer is going to her writer's group. I don't know if anyone has been in a writer's group, but it's a group of writers. It's a group of people that all get together, maybe at the library, maybe at a coffee shop, anywhere that they can discuss writing. The writing they have already published or the writing they're in the middle of creating. And that way everybody could bounce ideas off each other and share tips. So with the way things have been, I haven't been to an actual writing group. And I've also been pretty busy writing my own work now that I am published. And I find that a lot of online groups are incredibly supportive. So if you cannot get out in person to meet with other writers, I really recommend finding a group, join a few. They're not all for everyone. You will eventually weed out the ones that work for you or the members that you happen to, hit it off with. So experiment. I highly recommend that you check them out. But anyway, the main point of this video today is that the scene was going to take place in the library with a writer's group. So I haven't been, like I said, in a group for a while, because of the social distancing. And I had to, think about what it felt like to have the nerve in the beginning to even sign up for one of those groups when I hadn't published anything. I hadn't even finished what I was working on, but I needed the support. I wanted the support. I wanted to see what other writers were doing, what other writers were talking about. So now to get that down on paper, or rather my laptop, because I type mostly now. I still write using pen and paper or pencil and paper, but usually my ideas now, boom, go right into the laptop. So I had to think about that. And then I said, you know what? That's a great thing to share. When you have to think about something that you're trying to write in your story, an event, a scene that you haven't done in such a long time, that you lose that feeling. You forget what it was like to be that person that joins the group for the first time. You feel like all the attention is on you when really nobody is probably paying attention. They're so engrossed in their own stuff, what they're thinking about, they're going to discuss in the group, or they're working on their prompt, or, whatever it may be. But you feel like all eyes are on you, or everyone's going to know you're new. Meanwhile, there's so many other new people in that group. So anyway, yesterday, we were going to go rock wall climbing. Now, that was going to be, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going rock wall climbing. That is going to be a scene in my book. I am going to write, because, writing from experience, you really can pull those feelings, especially when it's fresh. I said, I am going to write about that rock wall, because it would have been the second time that I climbed a rock wall. And the first time I went in with such confidence, and I was so sure of myself, and I was like, wow, I am going to conquer that wall. When I got there, I thought you just had to climb up the wall. When I got to the rock wall place, it was not only up, it was sideways, it was upside down. People actually climbed that, and I was shocked and surprised. So that would have been great at the time if I would have wrote that then, because I'm never going to get that feeling back. I could think about it, I could picture it, but I'm never going to get that actual oomph of, for me personally. Yes, I will be able to write it on paper, and yes, I will make the reader, grasp it and say, wow, oh my God, climbing a rock wall. I could do that as a writer. But for me personally, the way I would like it to be written, I will never capture that personal feeling again. So since we were going to go rock wall climbing yesterday, I was going to write about it. And then I said to myself, the first time I thought I was going to conquer that wall, I didn't. So I was like really disappointed, and it kind of ruined my day, and it might have even ruined the next part of the next day because I was just so surprised and so shocked that I couldn't get as far as I thought I was gonna. I mean, my husband, he flew up the wall. So, I mean, to write about that too would be great. He had no problem, and I didn't think he was gonna have a problem, but I didn't think I was gonna have a problem, and I did. So I'm getting a little further than the minutes I would have liked to spend on here, but the point is, if you want to write about something and you don't know how to capture that feeling, sure, you can look it up. You could do some research, but why not do it? Why not, if the scene is about riding a horse, why not get out there and ride that horse? Sure, you could look up the different parts. I mean, in book 1, I wrote about riding a horse. I haven't rode a horse in a long time, but I know it was something that I enjoyed. And I also know that I felt like really high up, and I remember all those things. But to really capture the moment, or if you haven't done it ever, or if you haven't done it in a long time, do it. If your scene is about riding a horse, go out there and, find a stable, ride the horse, write about every moment. If your character is gonna, climb a rock wall, why don't you climb a rock wall? It's just gonna enhance not only your story, but your life. So I really recommend, if you're gonna write about something, if you're gonna write about drinking a cup of coffee, and there's coffee on it, but if you're gonna write about drinking a cup of coffee and using someone else's mug, like I'm doing right now, do it, because you could write about the humor in it. You could, write about the reason why you're drinking out of that mug. Is there a connection? Do you feel closer, to using someone else's mug? Do you feel closer to that person when they're not around? Or, whatever it is. I highly recommend you do it. And I bet there is such a difference in your writing, or the way you feel about your writing or that particular scene, in capturing the essence of it. Try it, and then I would love for you to comment and let me know how that worked, if it worked, and in what way it worked. And I'd love to see you back. All right, guys, have a great weekend.